This is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus NXT. Easy as 1, 2, 3, 2.0. Most of the time I want to go, but this one was pretty good. It's the go home show for Wargames. And we can talk about how slapdash it all is, but they did a good job with this go home show. So it is what it is. Let's take a look. Wargames is this Sunday. Kaylee Ray added her name to the War Games match, as well as the War Games ladder advantage match. She's going to fight Dakota Kai for an opportunity to get the necessary team advantage in the cage. What are the notable things happen before we break down matches and stuff like that? Braun Breaker. A lot of people said they like this format better of me kind of addressing like the bigger stuff in the beginning, because the matches on NXT usually are nothing to speak of nowadays. They just don't matter as much as the Gaga going on. And so let's talk about the Gaga, right? That's where their energies lie. It's where ours should lie when we look at things from a bookings perspective. Or if you're just listening because you like a summary of the show because you don't want to watch this bullshit, don't blame me for that either. Braun Breaker made a statement by calling for War Games in the growing battle of the past and future of NXT. Two men would step into the War Games Advantage ladder match. God, that's a terrible name. That's what the writers came up with. Jesus Christ. It's going to be determined by an online boot. Imperium sets a challenge to Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner. Yeah? As well as Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. Ooh. The duo wanted these challengers to fight it out to determine the next team to face Marcel Batel and Fabien at NXT War Games. And before his match with Roderick Strong for the Cruiserweight Championship, Joe Gacy held the all-inclusive invitational. I gotta admit that this stuff's funny to me. If you're gonna do the gimmick, and they're doing the gimmick at last, so... He had no limitation on who he would fight. Cameron Grimes is itching for a fight after losing his hair to Duke Hudson. Andre Chase talked his way into that fight, but the technical savage planned to use as a warm-up for NXT War Games. All right. War Games Advantage ladder match, Kaylee Ray versus Dakota Kai. It was very fucking good. Very good. Dakota Kai lost this bitch. Ray caught her in the ladder rungs, then hit a super kick that knocked out Kai and got the case. It was really good. Really good. Just no complaints about it. It's usual for the heels to have the advantage in War Games. I can already hear people bitching. I'm not mad about this at all. Yeah, it makes sense. The faces are gonna, they'll find a way to make sure the heels look good, even if they don't have the woman advantage and all that horse shit. They'll figure it out, right? We'll see. We'll see. Cameron Grimes against Andre Chase. How was this match? It was shit. God, it was fucking terrible. It's really, really bad. I'm not even gonna go into it. It was garbage. It was garbage. They had this bit too where the grizzled young veterans try to pick the lock on Josh Briggs' locker room, but Kushida and Jiro found them and were too loud, allowing Briggs and Brooks Jensen to catch the British villains in the act. This was fucking lame as shit. The match itself, Grimes defeating Chase by pinfall, whatever. The Photoshop of Grimes with different haircuts was terrible. Just not fun. They should have just let the guys cut promos on their own, like they would do in a wrestling show. Braun Breaker and Johnny Gargano promised to leave teams behind for the main event so they can go against each other. It's not that good of a segment. Number one contender, Legado del Fantasma against Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner, yeah? You kind of knew Kyle O'Reilly and Wagner were going to win, and they did. Legado del Fantasma, they're kind of part of the old guard. So is Kyle O'Reilly, certainly, but being attached to Von Wagner makes him relevant, yeah? So there it goes. Joe Gacy hosting the all-inclusive invitational. It's fucking lame as shit. He defeats the first local dude by pinfall, and then he prepared for the female competitor, but Diamond Mine rises, and yeah, we didn't get we didn't get a man against a woman. It just didn't happen, and I know people don't like this. I like that they're pursuing it. I just don't. As usual, execution is shit. Solo Sikoa against Edris Enofe. Solo wins. Um, with the Samoan drop and a diving splash, and it's just not a very good match, man. It's just not very good. Indy Hartwell and Persia Perota versus Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz. Yeah, Perota and Indy win with the F5 from Perota. Indy's, they're working the angle where Indy's struggling to keep her focus. Wargames advantage ladder match. Johnny Gargano against Braun Breaker. It's a 5-star experience. And Breaker wins. And then all 8 men fill the ring in a brawl as they go off the air. Very typical wrestling stuff. Was not bad. Gargano did a good job of getting Breaker through this match, and Breaker looked very dominant. This was the best NXT they've had in a long time. It actually makes me look forward to War Games. Don't break my heart.